Hey folks, it's Tom FrugalPrepper. How are you doing this fine Saturday morning? I don't even know what time it is. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:42 a.m.
6:42 a.m. I've been up since about 4. But I'm getting ready. I'm getting some empty water jugs to go get some water. I'll tell you why here in a minute. But I'm just out here in the garage. I thought I'd show you my latest project. I do still work on cars, but friends and family cars only. I don't have garage keepers insurance. I'm not doing this professionally anymore. But I do like working on cars. So I do. And this one I'm working on with my best friend. It's for my godson's car, who's my best friend's son. And he's had a time of it, let me tell you. I got my Popeye shirt on. Eat your spinach for your muscles. No, eat your chuck roast for your muscles. Spinach doesn't do it. Spinach is bad. Okay, so I'll show you what I got going on here. So what we got is a 1999 Saturn SC1. It's a nice car. Not. I mean, they're okay cars, but that's an older one, and yeah, we've been through the ringer with it. So this is his old engine, which is going to be his new engine. Okay, so this one made nice milkshakey out of the coolant. It had a little milkshakey in the oil, but really, that radiator was plugged. I mean, we flushed it and flushed it and flushed it to get the diarrhea-looking baby vomit stuff out of there. And so we got another engine used at a junkyard that my friend used to work at, but he doesn't work there anymore. He now works on semi-trucks. But it was one I think he had pulled, but it had the wrong transmission. He needed the other transmission. So the SC1 and SC2 used different engines and different transmissions or whatever. So he pulled this one. It was the wrong one. So he sat it in a truck bed. It sat there for a long time, but it supposedly ran okay. So we bought it. We put it in. It ran like a top. It just ran beautiful. I put my cylinder block tester, wherever I put that, yeah, my Napa block tester with the block testing fluid on the radiator, and it started blowing bubbles, and it turned it yellow really quick. So it had a blown head gasket or a cracked cylinder. We just spent 2 days putting this engine in. So we decided to try some bars leak cylinder head block sealer stuff and just see if that would work. It ran so good, and it wasn't mixing oil and antifreeze. We were like, it's got to be just a tiny start of a leak. Try that, see if it gets them by for a little while. It got them by for exactly like a day and a half, and then it was running great, and all of a sudden, wham, it made a noise, and the rod's knocking. The insides are messed up. It got a serious misfire, rod's knocking. So what probably happened on that engine is the head gasket was leaking a little, and it decided it was pressurizing that coolant, right? And then the head gasket failed completely. It let the coolant back into the cylinder, and it hydrolocked the engine and threw a rod. Most likely what happened. So it is what it is. So we got the old engine out, and we're just trying to do this on the cheap, right? So the old engine has a whole bunch of that crap in it. I'm spraying it out with brake clean. That's underneath the water pump right there, and it's just, oh yeah, yucky. So it has a whole bunch of that crap in it. And anyway, I'm going to spray that out really good with brake clean. The oil is not so bad. This valve cover was in the drain pan, so the engine's been draining in it, but it did have just a little sludgy residue in it, just a little bit. It ran good. The bottom end sounded fine. So we think that the bearings are okay. I got the oil pan off. I'm going to check the bearings, make sure they look not too bad. And then the deck on this is not warped at all, not even a thousandth. It's perfect. This has a little bit of warpage around cylinder 3. It's just a couple thousandths. It has a 10 thousandths tolerance, so that head is perfectly fine and serviceable. The valves look like they seal fine. It wasn't overheated. That head gasket was definitely blown. We could see that it was blown when we pulled it. So we think that the head's not cracked. We're going to hope for the best. We're not sending it out to a machine shop and having it pressure tested. We just don't have the money for that. We spent $40 on the head gasket set, which really is pretty much all you have on these, because the oil pan uses silicone. The timing cover uses silicone. So all you have is really the head gasket, valve covers, water pump, thermostat. And we just, that one, we got it in and running, and the water pump was leaking, so we put a new water pump on it. So we're going to pull the water pump off of that one and stick it on this one. And we're just going to try to spray it out real good with brake clean, run it, see how it does, just to get her done cheap, So that's where we're at with his car. We were just trying to get it fixed in a couple of days, get him back and forth to work, but he's got another vehicle he's borrowing for now, and we're going to take our time and just get this one done and done right and get it put in there. This just has the single overhead cam. It has a really simple timing chain. It just goes from the cam to the crank. It's got a couple of it's got a tensioner and a couple of guides, and it basically just bolts in there. It's a really simple little engine. It's kind of like a Honda, the way those little water jackets come up beside the cylinders. It's a good little engine, but it blew a head gasket. So we're going to get that done over this next week. The gaskets aren't coming in till Monday, so I'm just cleaning it up. I'm going to take the bearings out and plastic gauge them and make sure there's nothing serious going on there, and we'll bolt it back together. We'll be good to go. It is what it is. I'm just going to clean up the important internal surfaces. I'm not worried about that outside dirt. We'll just let that go, and we'll put it all back together and hope for the best. Hopefully it'll get him around for another year or two. It'll put him around town. But I'm getting ready to go and buy my son a 2005 Hyundai Elantra. If you guys have watched my channel for a while, you'll know that there was a 2004 Hyundai Elantra that was one of my regular daily drivers for a while. And my son has a 97 Honda Civic that we put another motor in, and I put a rack and pinion in it, a fuel tank in it, I put starters in it, I put alternator in it, I put a blower motor in it, I fixed the exhaust on it. I don't know, I done a bunch of work to it, and it's been a good car. But his girlfriend doesn't drive yet, so he's driving her around to college, and she doesn't have anybody else to take her, so her apartment's in another town, the next town over, and he drives there and gets her, brings her back to this town where she works. He takes her to college, and I said, his car broke down the other day. It's a 97 Honda Civic hatchback. It's like the DX or whatever, and the throttle cable on those is the extra long one. Honda, Advance, AutoZone, all the auto places, nobody carries that anymore. The regular body ones, they take a different, shorter throttle cable. His throttle cable is sticking. I got it to unstick. I bent it a little bit with some pliers and put some more lube on it. And I'm just like, look, this car is not going to take this kind of driving every day, like hundreds of miles. It's an older car, you know, and you're going to have to get something else. And he's like, well, I'll just tell my girlfriend I can't drive her anymore. I'm like, that's not an option. You're her only mode of transportation. And if you're going to be a man, you're going to have to step up and make it happen, you know. But your car's not going to take it anymore. So you need a backup car. Is what you need. Not a new car, a backup car. Oh, there goes my wife. She going to the Planet Fitness. And so I said, you need to get a backup car so that you have an extra car so that you guys can still have transportation if your car goes down. And so I found a cheap Honda Elantra. It's got a cracked radiator. Supposedly it hasn't been driven until it's overheated. I got it cheap. We're going to fill it up with water and see if we can drive it back here. It's about 45 minutes away. So we're going to see if we can make it back, and I can do a little work to that and make it a good backup car for him. And then he can have two cars, because two cheaper cars are better than one expensive car. A lot of people are always like, oh, well, I needed a brand new car because I can't be breaking down and I need it to be reliable and blah, 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 blah. No, what you need is a AAA membership with unlimited mileage and another cheap car. And then you need some wrenches and a socket set, right? So that you can fix your car. That's what you need. That's way cheaper than buying a new car. So we're gonna go get that this morning. I'm filling up those water jugs. We're gonna go see if we can make it back with that thing. But yeah, just working on some cars in the spare time. It has been so rainy here that my yard is just mud. Like look at this, man. It's just standing water and mud. I think it's supposed to clear off today, maybe. But I'm just, oh man, I just stepped in the grass and it's like, whoosh. I don't even know where I'm going to park his car till I can work on it without getting it stuck. My truck, good luck getting that out right now. I guess I'll try to park it up in there, you know, but it's just muddy, muddy, muddy. It has done nothing but rain for 2 weeks. Nothing but mud. There's my snow blower. I need to get that fixed. I gotta get the carburetor rebuilt on it. But you know, it's been that way for 3 years. There's my drain pan. It needs cleaned out. My other drain pan's gonna need cleaned out. There's my bad Harbor Freight jack. There's my new Harbor Freight jack. There's my old dirty shop towels. There's my clean shop towels. Yeah. I had to go and pay for an oil change the other day. Doggone it. I didn't even get... I'm like, I'm not pulling up in the rain and changing my oil, and I can't get in my garage right now. So I'm just paying for one. I was down to 39% use. I usually change at 50%. So I had another trip to the Limer for work. I got me a tool cart. That's actually pretty nice. It's nice to have a tool cart to work off of. I actually really enjoy that. Yeah. It's handy. I wish I'd done that a long time ago. Didn't realize how handy tool carts are. Yeah. It don't have any of the fancy drawers or any of that. It's just a place to set some tools while you're working. It's all man needs. But I'm going to tear these shelves out of here. I'm going to clean these shelves off some more and tear these shelves out. I think I might get rid of those shelves because I want to move all that stuff from in front of my door over. My door doesn't work real well, but it is an emergency way to get into the garage if the garage door fails. So I need to keep that clear. And, you know, maybe get shelves half that size put over there, and then I'll have room for my generator. This is my whole house, Jenny. I got the big cords for it, and I keep it on a trickle charger and start it up every few months. and run it. It's probably time to start it up again. But I got my generator interconnect. I can plug that in. And I can run the whole house. But I have to turn some stuff off, like turn off the central air and turn off some lights and stuff if I'm going to run a dryer on it. But it's 9,000 watts. The dryer pulls, I don't know, like 5,000. So you have to kind of... But other than that, other than the dryer, it will run the whole house. No problem. So that comes in handy if the power goes out. But my big battery charger there, this all kinds of stuff I've collected over the years. That was a free one from a YouTube subscriber, so that's come in really handy. I use the heck out of it. It's really nice to have a non-intelligent battery charger. These intelligent ones are all trying to analyze your battery and do all this stuff, and they don't charge dead batteries. Like, sometimes you just want to put some voltage out and see if it goes into the battery. You need a dumb charger. That thing's been great. So, all right. Well, that's all I got for now, folks. I'll talk to y'all later. Yummy milkshake. Well, hi, Kitty Waffle. How you doing? In my garage cat. How my garage kitty cat doing?